So Manchester City, predictably, can keep winning. United and Chelsea, I think we all fell asleep watching that game. And Gareth Bale makes his mark in the Premier League again. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. This is Red Card Radio. It's a weekly look at the Premier League from four friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. Next to me to my left is Brad. He is a Chelsea football club supporter. Right below me is Sean. He supports the Chickens from North London, Tottenham. And diagonally beneath me is Tamzid, our resident Liverpool supporter and most pessimistic person in the world. But with that said, this is our look at the state of the Premier League after match day 26. Gentlemen, what's going on?
I don't know.
Pain.
You tell me, because I just watched a club I've never seen before this past weekend.
I mean, the club legend's back, scoring goals, feeling like it's 2009 all over again. It's just a beautiful thing, right?
Yo, bro, Sean Dyche is never leaving his 18-yard box again.
All right, before we get too deep, let's take a look at the Premier League table updated after these most recent match days. City, of course, like win in perpetuity. Eventual champions of the Premier League this year at the top. Leicester got knocked down, losing to Arsenal. So that puts United second. West Ham lost predictably to City, of course, but they're still in fourth. Chelsea, Liverpool, all chomping at the bit. Tottenham have a game in hand. Everton have a game in hand. Arsenal are in 10th. Go down to it's starting to tighten up between 18th, 17th, and 16th. Only 3 points separate those teams. Sheffield and West Brom are going to be relegated. Fulham may save themselves. We'll see what happens there. But that's the table, and that's all that there is there. Things we're going to talk about this week, of course, Manchester City. We'll talk about the Chelsea United game, Liverpool winning, Spurs, what happened there. Welcome back, Gareth Bale. The Arsenal victory, and then what's going on between Fulham, Newcastle, and Brighton and Hove. And we'll talk about that before we look forward to the rest of match day 17, which is going on right now, and then, or 27, excuse me, and then match day 28 at the weekend. But first, foremost, we'll always start with City, because we probably won't be talking about them that much because it's pretty predictable. But at the weekend, beat West Ham 2-1. But I actually was watching that game. I thought West Ham played pretty well. They didn't roll over, in my opinion, like I was expecting them to. Wolves, on the other hand, absolutely got steamrolled today. Lost 4-1. Any large takeaways from those games?
No, actually, I did joke that I only watched one game this weekend, but I did watch the City game.
Already making a liar of yourself.
I know. I joked because of clearly the game I watched was the only one in my heart. But no, yeah, you're right. You that was a very good point. I didn't think West Ham were severely outplayed, and the scoreline didn't reflect it. I thought they didn't roll over. I thought that was a really good game to watch.
Well, I remember
as far as West Ham like being in the game the entire time.
Yeah, I remember specifically texting you guys while I was watching that game and lamenting the miss that Antonio had in the first half.
Yeah.
And being like, "Oh man, you're not going to get a lot of chances against City. He needs to score that." And like 3 minutes later, they scored a goal.
Yeah.
And so like they created opportunities. So I was not I was kind of surprised to see them stay in the game for as long as they did. And, I mean, they were in it to the end because it was only a one goal lead. So
absolutely, yeah.
All right. Yeah, whatever.
Nothing. Timsy's got nothing on that one.
The machines.
Brad, anything to add? You got a Snapple joke on that one, or
the robots did what the robots were supposed to do.
Yeah, the machines just keep performing.
Tamsin, you're muted.
He's on mute, but I'm saying what he's saying. The machines keep performing.
Yeah, the robots did what they're supposed to. I mean, they played a rotated team and still fucking won. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about City and United, or Chelsea and United. Brad, what's... I can't speak tonight. Like we'll talk about City and United later because that's the weekend game. But before that, what happened in this...
Tuchel and the boys doing.
Yeah, I was kind of excited about this game, and that it was just pretty boring. In my opinion.
Yeah, so I don't know if was necessarily Tuchel's doing or if it's just how United play against the Big Six. Because that's been an issue, right? Every single time we've had United against one of our teams or against City, it's been a snooze fest. So I'm not saying that we didn't play great because clearly
we didn't.
Huh?
Speak for yourself. We got clapped in a 5-goal thriller. Speak for yourself.
Okay, this is the one exception.
Was that in the cup though, right? You're talking.
It was in the cup.
No, that was the cup. Your league. No, United Liverpool league game was a 0-0, just like you called that. You predicted it 0-0 league game.
Yeah.
So, we had that one great chance that missed Druid's head by an inch. But besides that, you're right. It definitely was a snooze fest.
I liked the point you brought up about Ole and United and how they line up. It seems that they don't want to lose the big games. They would much rather draw the big games and try and exploit the weaker opponents. I guess it's a fair thing to think about going away from home to a top 6 team. I know Arsenal are historically guilty of that, of playing very conservatively going away from home against top 4, top 6 teams. So I can't necessarily blame him, but he didn't play Pogba, he didn't play Cavani, excuse me. God, I can't speak. I know that you have. I know you have feelings about.
Was that a Tottenham joke? Chiellini? Huh?
No. I said
Chiellini shot fired.
I can't.
Wait, Brad, what shot fired? Chiellini shot fire. Yo, we got another one.
We got said very math at the beginning from James. We got James can't speak.
Did you say Chiellini?
And then I messed up.
Chiellini. He said Chiellini shots fired.
Oh man,
I did.
Brad.
Let's go. That's the title. I named the podcast. What do you mean? Why are you getting mad at me? I'm changing it right now.
I'm just disappointed. My heart hurts.
No, you're not.
That's 3 now, along with Leipzig and what did he say?
Declan.
Oh, what did he say? Allegri was?
Allegri.
Yeah.
Allegri. Yep. We going.
So
that's the funniest one.
Italian words and Italian names he can't get.
I can't. I don't speak Italian.
But we're gonna get back on topic here a little bit. I think that was an interesting point you brought up about United and not wanting to, where it seems that they don't go for it in the big games.
They didn't go for it in any game.
I mean, they didn't go for it.
One exciting United game.
Spurs at home. Because Spurs beat them by 6.
I mean, yeah, but
that's my point.
I mean, they got clapped, yeah, but the point is they don't. All right, so
yeah, okay. That's a fair point. They were living and dying by the 94th minute Bruno penalty.
Right?
That's a fair point.
And the reason for that is, and this is really funny because I don't know if y'all remember watching that, but they had a 32-man rondo in their training session. And it was the funniest video I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't see that video come out.
No.
Why would they have...
It was literally
was it the entire squad?
Yeah, a 32-man run.
Why?
Anyway, so one of the reasons why international football is really boring is because every team always plays really compact, really sort of negative, very, very defensive on the counter style. And the reason they do that is because international teams don't have that kind of time to physically work their team out and blah blah blah, work it out. So they just pick their best 11, best players, play really defensive, and hope that your individual talent goes over somebody else's individual talent,
Yeah.
right? And the reason I brought up that 32-man rondo thing is that United don't coach anything. They just pack 8 in the back and just hope that a Rashford long shot just goes in, and that's it. That's it. That's why they get clapped so many times. The amount of times you'll see United concede goals, which are just absolute comedy, is because they have no organization in that back. He's just like, we'll just stay in the back, and if we can hoof one up, it'll work. Like, we'll make it.
That makes a lot of sense of why you bring that up and why. So you would probably echo this of why Spain dominated for 6 years, because like half of the Spanish squad was either from Barcelona or Madrid.
Yeah,
and played together their entire life.
It wasn't
85%.
Yeah, it was like 85% was from Barca, and
they already knew how to play together.
Yeah, and the day they won the World Cup, the day after, the headline for Marca was Visca España, which is, if you understand Catalan, then that means like ghost, like long live Spain or whatever.
Yeah.
Which in Spanish it should be Viva España.
Yeah.
But they intentionally were Visca España because it's like all of Barcelona won the World Cup for them.
Well, it's kind of
the same for the 2014 World Cup. They were all Bayern players.
Yeah, and
Germany too. Same thing. It's all German players.
The Italian teams, when they're solid, like their entire back line and goalkeeper are from the same team.
Yeah,
so like
Buffon,
Bonucci, Buffon,
Berzagli.
Yeah, that's like more recent. Even before that, it was the Milan backline.
Yep.
Nesta, Maldini, like Costa Cruz. That was the Milan backline, and so they all like sort of like stayed together, and that's why international football is kind of like, every team plays really defensively.
And also, I think that's because the games tend to have more stakes in international football, where it's generally like tournament-based, knockout competition things, where like one loss is significantly more impactful than a league loss.
Yeah, so but international football is also worse than like Champions League ball. Champions League ball is still played with high stakes, like still knockout football.
Agreed, but I think that your point is exacerbated by the fact that they only play cup ball.
Yeah,
that's the point. I prefer cup football to league football anyway. It's a lot more exciting.
Yeah. I hear league football is going great for you.
I don't what, huh? Is there a league going on? I'm only here for trips to Athens. That's what I'm here for.
The comeback is real.
We're going to Romania games. It's happening.
I'm only here to get clapped in the capital of Croatia next week.
Okay, so a pretty unremarkable Chelsea versus United match.
So remarkable you had to bring up international football.
Yeah,
so,
let's
move on to.
It's just such a defeatist point to talk about United because there's nothing interesting going on in that club.
I guess the problem
is vibes. Like,
we get the feedback. People tell us to talk about more teams, and
it's just the most vibes. Like, I'd rather genuinely talk about Brighton than I talk about.
Me too. I'm telling you guys. I said last week, I'm a Brighton fan.
Like, United are just so boring.
Shout out to all our United listeners.
I'll suck my dick. They're just so boring. Like, I cannot imagine them waking up at 7:30 to watch them play like West Brom or something. I would just stop watching. Like, I'd just outright stop watching. If this is what I had to endure on a weekly basis, that is pain.
Hey, we said this
last week, but when it comes to Leeds, I feel like they just decided as a club, look, we barely made it up here. We don't have the defense to do this, so we might as well just go that way for 90 minutes. And it's so fun to watch.
Bielsa knows what he's got.
But that's what Bielsa's been doing. Even in the championship, when they were on the way up, they still played that way. But secondly, we told everybody at the start of this is a United haters podcast.
It's true.
So, we're here for the slander. That's what it is.
Leeds is appointment football. I checked the schedule for when Tottenham play and Leeds play. That is appointment football.
I was talking about why don't you people talk about United more? Here we are talking about United with
we're all sad about it.
It's the single most boring football on the planet. It's just no way. Like, you know what the most interesting thing about United is? It's Marcus Rashford feeding homeless kids. Like, that's the most interesting. Nobody ever talks about anything else from United. Like,
I mean, it's certainly the most impactful thing that United are
they're
doing.
just dire. And now, like, Solskjaer is out complaining about how. He's like, because Lampard and Klopp said we get too many penalties, and now we don't get penalties. So,
so
big.
With that was the only big interesting thing, because I don't think it's a handball, but that might be my bias.
It was a handball. Like
100% handball.
I feel like his hand got pushed into it, though. Like, I feel like it's the natural position.
Like this.
His hand was like this, and then got knocked up into it.
I mean, Sterling runs like this, but who runs like this?
Even if his hand is here and gets pushed to here, this is an unnatural position.
No, it's not. Not if you're jostling for position. Not if you're jostling with somebody.
Bro, that's
my argument.
This is the Chelsea.
That's my argument. And it might be. That's why I was bringing that up.
This is how I jostle with people too.
It was down here. It was like he's pushing him away this way, and then his hand got knocked this way.
This is how I jostle with people too.
All right, Brad. Think about it like this. This is the way you need to approach these situations. If this happened against me, would I be happy with this? The way that this was refereed. So, reverse the situation. If a ball hit the United player's arm in the same situation, would you be happy that it wasn't a penalty?
Maybe.
You're okay, and we move on because
I'm
that's
a homer. Let's go.
Factually untrue.
Before we move on, I got a quick one.
Okay.
When he talked about West Brom United at 7:30, all I could think is I would rather watch the Columbus Crew versus the Colorado Rapids at 7:30 in the morning than I would United.
Wow.
MLS?
MLS.
I would rather watch
I'm
the
here
MLS
for
at
Crew
7:30 in the morning than United West Brom.
I am here for crew slander.
Yo, I might go to an MLS game at 7:30 in the morning. Yo, get me in there with the DC United supporter group. Let's
do it. Yo, I got an in with the Charlotte supporter group. Let's go.
We'll do that game day.
Hey, where's your coin, Brad?
I didn't realize that was
the Brad's a plastic on two ends. Like, bro.
I didn't realize the bottom crew were down for MLS slander and the top crew just want to get into a game.
Facts.
All right, we're gonna get this ball rolling. Liverpool, you guys beat Sheffield. Unsurprising, but it's your first win in 4. So tell me how you're feeling, Tamsy.
Dude, fucking Fugazi. That was so shit. Like, yo, I don't understand why that fucking Brazilian can't score. I just don't understand. Like, Ramsdale's the worst keeper in the league. No, well, Ramsdale's the second worst keeper in the league. But, like...
Yo,
Adrian's the worst keeper in the league. Adrian's the worst keeper in the league.
I have a goalkeeper.
Kepa's still employed.
Adrian's worse than Kepa. All right, like in every metric, Adrian's the worst keeper in this league.
So, do you think that anyone looks more uncomfortable? Or here's a better question: which goalkeeper looks more uncomfortable playing football, Adrian or Pickford? Because every time I watch Pickford, he looks like he's just like...
I think it's just his face.
Confused and scared about what's going on in the world.
Pickford probably is still on Molly. Because he came from the rave the night before.
Every time I watch Everton, I'm just like, how is this man still playing? Like, he just never looks like he knows what he's supposed to be doing.
I think it's his face. I think it's just because he's got the blush. Because he's...
What is Brad? Is Brad still looking for that stupid coin?
I don't know.
What is he doing?
Like, his face is flushed. He just... Yeah. I know what you're saying, but he just looks flustered.
I'm still listening. I'm still here for this combo.
And then I saw a great picture of Adrian. I forget who was attacking. It was just from the Sheffield game. And, like, it's like one-on-one, and he is just, like... He's protecting, like, 10% of the goal. And I guess
and he's
shanked or something like that.
He gets
his angles are horrible.
He is the single worst player I think I've ever seen from my club, and I fully understand why Adrian's never been like sold from any club. He's always
Signed as a free
agent.
Yeah, he's always been signed as a free agent, and I completely understand. Holy fuck, Adrian's bad.
But
Man, and all our goalkeeping juju started when Adrian signed. Something shady here.
I mean, the only reason you're dealing with it is because of Becker's family situation. So, I mean...
Dude, Becker spent 4 years in Rome and didn't get a single fucking injury, and he comes to Liverpool, plays the first year fine, like no injuries whatsoever. Mignolet leaves, Adrian comes in, Homeboy gets injured on the first day for 11 games.
Okay, that's true. That's a fair point. I didn't think about it. Maybe this dude's poisoning the goalkeeper.
That's what I think, too. That's what I think.
Is he messing with Allison's kebabs, maybe? He's just, like, spiking him. It's like lasagna gate all over again, but internal.
Do not get in between. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's, like, throwing meat outside somewhere, and Allison just chases after it. If you don't know the Allison kebab joke, it's that if you go on his Instagram, all through the summer, all he does, every day, just barbecues. Every day.
Kebabs every day.
Yeah.
I mean, Brazilian barbecue, it's better.
But Firmino can't score. He had like 3 gilt-edged chances that he needs to finish. And I think we're at the point now as a club where we just need like a different striker. Like we will never need a player like Haaland because we still need Haaland doesn't fit our team.
It doesn't fit your team. He's not the right player.
No, yeah. Because Haaland plays like Lukaku, all right?
Yeah.
Haaland plays exactly like Lukaku. He's going to run in behind, and he's going to score tap-ins. That's it. Right?
Yeah, it's right time, right place. He's back to goal. He's a distributor.
He's not a back to goal. He's not back to goal.
Lukaku's back to goal, but when he's back to goal, he distributes. He's not scoring.
Neither one of them are.
United tried to play Lukaku back to goal, and we bullied him for like 2 years straight.
He's too big to not be back to goal.
No, he's too skillful to play back to goal.
Yeah, he's too skillful to play back to goal. Like he can't use his frame well. It's the same with Haaland too. Haaland can't use his frame well. But like the issue is we need a striker that can also do a little bit of link up, but is like naturally more selfish in the box. Right?
Yeah.
Like there was a point I think in the Sheffield game where instead of shooting, Firmino put a cutback in the middle to nobody when he had like a one-on-one with Ramsdale. Yeah. And so it's like stuff like that that's like infuriating. Because we need, like, on merit, like we probably deserve to win because we tried to win more. But like that was not a convincing, like none of those goals were convincing. Nothing about that performance was convincing. That's why I'm like, we're getting clapped like 2-0 by Chelsea, and it's gonna be like a Giroud goal, and everybody's gonna be like, "Ugh!" Shambles.
I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm not okay with that. I'm
here for that.
I'm here for a Liverpool Chelsea draw.
It's gonna be a Giroud
I think that's
goal.
what it's gonna be, but I'm here for a Giroud goal.
Neither team plays for draws, so it's not gonna be a draw. It's gonna be like
I'm here
like,
for a surprise though.
It's gonna be fucking us getting clapped at Anfield again.
I guess time will tell.
I guess.
Right.
What? Tell me, Sean. Who is this guy? This Gary fellow that you guys picked up from the golf course? Like, you gave him the number 9 shirt, and he's just banging in braces. Well, who is this guy? Has he been on your team all season?
I think it started midweek.
He signed
the confidence from the other Wolfsburg, by the way. The other confidence, the confidence came from there because it's honestly his first assist to Son, and then that was perfect. And Son just deflected it in, and then
Son returned the favor, right?
And yeah, that was actually one of the first. This to show how long or short I've watched religiously, but like those like barely in front crosses that usually end up at the keeper's feet that they pick up. That was one of the first ones I've seen a toe actually hit on purpose.
Okay, like the near post,
because that never happens.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one at the second minute.
Like the one that so it was an early cross.
Bale's first goal
to the near post.
Yeah, and he like barely got his toe to it, but it was enough. And of course I can't blame the keeper on that one. What's he supposed to do? No one ever hits that.
Yeah.
No one ever gets their toe to it.
It certainly looked unconventional because when Bale scored, you kind of look at me like, okay, maybe he got a little lucky there.
I thought it was offsides, but then they showed and he wasn't.
They drew the lines and got the
I had geometry going on. There was a Pythagorean theorem situation happening for a minute, and then we were good.
I think they just called Pythagoras up, dug him out of his grave somewhere. And
that's how. I think that's why it takes so long. They need to dig up geometry majors. But no, honestly, that was one of the first times I'd ever seen one of those. Maybe not ever, but usually it's like diving and they get a toe. But in stride, it was nice to see because he's so fast. He just like acceleration got there and got his. I don't think it was just a toe. I think it was the inside of his foot. But
I think
that was good to see. Go ahead.
No, my point is unimportant.
That was good to see, but then his second goal was just a freaking beauty, a perfect first touch off his right foot, immediately to his left, and then banged it right far post. Like, and then the entire time, to your bigger question, what the heck was happening?
Yeah, where's he been?
Is it one just Burnley? Probably. But did it give me confidence in the team? But when you go from Wolfsburg, you need confidence. So the team smashed Wolfsburg with a couple good goals and good link-up play. Then they come into the league and they do the same thing against Burnley. Because honestly, like the first 20, 30 minutes of the game, I was in awe of the game. I was like, this is how you have fun watching football again? I mentioned before, it almost was like Jose gave his tactics at the beginning of the game like he normally does. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to sit back. We're going to wait for them to attack too much, and then we go on the counter attack. And then the entire team just got together after, was like, this is what the fuck we're not going to do. And then they just played. Because in a year and a half, I had not seen fun attacking football. Blossoming.
I got two questions. Is that the first time Gary, Son, and Kane have played together?
No.
From the start? Yes.
Yeah, from the start. From kickoff.
Oh, from the start?
Yeah.
No. Then yeah, it might have been.
So
I don't remember, unless it was like a preseason game. I don't remember them starting together.
So then I guess the follow-up question is that the reason for this?
Tammy, did we just 4-3-3 for the rest of life?
No. It's because Burnley decided that this might be a time to finally, kick a wounded animal. And the wounded animal bit its leg off. So Sean Dyche is never coming out of his 18 box again. You think I'm kidding? Every single who still has yet to play Burnley?
They beat
we finished our two.
We might have one more against them.
Yeah.
I think we do.
I would not wish this type of terrorism on my worst enemies. He is never leaving his box. Ooh.
Oh, we play them Saturday.
Ooh. He is never leaving his box again. You're about to watch the most nightmare game of football you have ever seen.
Secondly, Sean, that sounds like are you now turning to Jose out?
We asked him this question every week.
I'm not
but
Jose
he's getting
out.
more and more upset though. Like I feel this is payback for him. Is it Lampard out time yet?
I can't watch this crap week in and week out. I don't want to play this game.
But here's a broader question though, like for Tottenham fans. Who is Tottenham really going to lure to come manage them, to come coach them? That's a bigger profile than Jose Mourinho.
I'll answer the question better. I know as a realistic fan, he is a necessary evil.
Okay.
But watching the games,
No, he isn't. Oh my god,
week
no,
in
he
and week
isn't.
out, it
No, he
freaking
isn't.
stinks,
No, he
man.
isn't. All right, the only thing that happened to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club over the last 20 years was that Daniel Levy finally got lucky on one managerial appointment, and that was appointing Maurizio Pochettino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, and his head like exploded because he's like, oh, Mourinho, we're gonna get Mourinho, and then he fucking panicked, fired Poch, put in Mourinho, and now he's gonna fucking devastate your team in like 18 months. He's gone, and Daniel Levy's gonna be like, but how could you have known this was gonna happen?
Yeah, Daniel Levy.
Not me, because I knew we were on like an 18-month cup trend. Like if we don't get one here soon, we're not getting one.
That's a fair point.
Speaking of which, we just passed the 13-year anniversary there, Sean. The last trophy.
Thank you.
Welcome. If you're taking notes still, just want to make sure I put that in there.
Snapple.
I got the Snapple fact later, but let's continue.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll move on now.
Do you have it ready yet? Because we're what time are we on? I just want to make sure you're ready since it took you a few minutes last week.
And Brad, make sure you double check all of the years on your Snapple
I did.
facts.
I double checked.
All right, so
we've got
to do all the day.
homework.
We're good.
I think ultimately, you don't need a manager with the profile of Mourinho ever, unless you're like Real Madrid or something, right? You want managers for like the club like Spurs. You want managers like Hassan.
Yeah.
Right, they're just a level below. They're ready to make the step up, but more importantly, they can actually improve your team with like new ideas, interesting ideas, like stuff.
Yeah,
like you need Pochettino 2.0.
Someone like Max Allegri is not going to turn Spurs into a winner. Someone like Conte is not going to turn Spurs into a winner.
And Tim Z will probably. And I'll defend this, but what I didn't like about Mourinho was like a lot of our young players, especially at the beginning, just sat down, and it's typical Mourinho because that's what he did at Chelsea, and he like sent De Bruyne away and sent all these other players away, and he didn't send all of our young players away, but Nombili hit the bench and Winks hit the bench, and I thought Winks. And this is where I thought he would argue with me. I thought Winks was one of our better players until Højbjerg got there. And now they basically played the same role. So I understand why Winks doesn't get the play time as much anymore. But Winks never plays. And Winks is a really good homegrown player.
He's a young player.
Exactly.
With Jose as his coach.
I don't think Winks is young anymore. He's like 24.
No, he's like 25.
Yeah.
24, 25?
He's an unproven player.
I think
with Jose.
It seems to me that like last year Jose didn't really trust him. And
to be fair, I wouldn't play Winks either. Winks,
I knew this is what I knew. I thought this was where
they're such like fugazi ass players. Like they don't like. What does Winks do?
I think he's just not as good as Højbjerg. I think they do the same thing.
This is Højbjerg does everything really well. What does Winks actually do?
I think Winks does everything really good.
Really decent.
It's just not on the same level. It's just right there. Like he does everything. Decent, like he holds the ball pretty well. He distributes pretty well. He plays defense pretty well. He's just not great at anything.
So this is going to be my point about last season.
I'll admit that. So maybe we agree on that.
So last season he played more, but Jose didn't play him a lot, and so I think it was a situation where Jose didn't trust him. He played him when he needed him. But in the summer, when he had time to get a replacement, someone that he really wanted, he targeted a player. You guys signed the player, and now the player that he wants is in, and so Winks is going to play even less.
But they play the same
exactly
type of game.
Because
Winks is never going to hit the field while Højbjerg's there.
Exactly, because
there's no reason for him to be. Because you can't play them side by side. They do the same damn thing.
Yeah, and so you see, this is something that Mourinho understands, that you have to if you have two players of the same ilk, you don't put them in the same midfield together. But you'll see Arteta deploy Ceballos and Xhaka 24/7.
Like Brad's face on that. Brad,
I mean, that's-
James.
You'll see Lampard when he plays Jorginho and Kovacic together, and then get smacked 3-0, and he's like, "The player did not try enough."
That's an Arsenal
Tuchel's
special.
been doing the same thing too, though.
Huh?
That's been Tuchel's main pivot.
Yeah, and who was your best player all game against United? Conte.
Yeah. Conte was, yes, I'm so excited for Conte to be playing back. Conte was everywhere.
Yeah, that's because
That's what he does.
Conte knows how to play under a real manager.
So let's move on. Arsenal put a big dent in Leeds' aspirations for any shot at the title, I think. It's a good game. It's a real good game.
It was surprising, honestly.
That's been the talk. But Arsenal have been looking competitive in all the games they've been playing for like the last month and a half, in my opinion. We haven't looked. So in our dire 10-game stretch where we just looked abysmal, there were a lot of games where we just weren't in it. Over the last 10 games, I would say though, we I think have been competitive in almost all the games we've played, but we've lost quite a few. But so like seeing us beat Leicester 3-1 was not super surprising for me. I mean, Leicester was missing Maddison. They also played on Thursday. They got knocked out of the Europa League, so like there was a bit of a mentality maybe defeat there. And then coming in, and Arsenal are on a high. They just had like a really thrilling victory in the Europa League. They played City really well the weekend before, so I think Arsenal were playing with kind of like with a sense of confidence. And I know that you guys have been calling for this for like the last month, but that man, the Arsenal number 12, William, masterclass.
Yeah, let's go, William, masterclass.
Was it
proving his worth?
I'm so afraid of that train of thinking. That
because he's playing more now.
Yes, that the thought is, this is the William that we signed. This is the William that we went out and got. He is he's the player that we needed.
Yeah, be prepared to be let down for the next 3 games,
bro.
And then he'll come back in as a sub.
Every time he's on the pitch, I'm let down. I mean, he played well. He played well over the last 2 games. His last 2 appearances, he played well.
We need to add Tielemans to the list of Fugazi midfielders.
So
that fucker can barely run. Like,
he dusted all of our. I mean, I guess he got in a very fortunate position for his goal, but
yeah, like,
Tielemans has a special place in my heart for helping out my FIFA online. In I think it was like FIFA 13 or 14. And I would play with, I think it was on either Marseille or Lyon. And I would always pick those teams. And Tielemans was my main boy. So he's got a special place in my heart about 7 years ago.
So there's no slander here for Tielemans.
No slander for Tielemans
needs to be added to the list of Fugazi players.
But
that's how I'm going to call them from now on, because nobody knows what they do. They just exist. Ceballos, Tielemans, Genie One Item. I don't know what they do. Like,
it's interesting. You bring up Ceballos a lot, and it's a fair point. I don't know what he does.
I don't know what he does.
He just floats around, kicks some balls every once in a while.
I mean, we used to when I say we, the Arsenal fan base used to like refer to him as a spinning top, especially last season, because he would just get the ball and like spin, and like he'd just like spin in place and like just move the ball around in place. So I don't.
they're like these players. I just don't know what they do. So I'm like.
It's probably why he's not playing a lot right now.
Yeah, like, I just don't know what Ceballos does. I don't know what Genie One Item does either. Like, I just don't know what he does.
This is the biggest indictment, though, of Ceballos. Mohamed El Neni has displaced him.
Ooh. That's
an indictment.
The real Egyptian king, El Neni.
True. He's the best Egyptian in the league. Shout out El Neni. But yeah, so do you guys think this was a bigger win for Arsenal or a bigger loss for Leicester?
That is a bigger win for Arsenal.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Leicester. They're like, Arsenal needed a win against somebody good.
I think so. I mean, I think that on the run of the season, if Arsenal hadn't won this game, then it certainly would have been lights out for any kind of European hope. But I mean, at this point, we're only 8 points off fourth, so anything's possible.
Also, I mean, with Leicester's growing list of injuries, like
It's just Madison.
Arsenal should have. Well, then and Justin too, who's been having an awesome go in the back, and there's a couple of others. I think they have the second highest injury list compared to behind Liverpool's. I gotta find where I found that stat, but
Yeah, I need to fact check on that.
I think it was NBC.
No, they don't.
I think it was NBC or most days with an injury. I think was what it was.
I just also thought that I would say it's a bigger win for Arsenal just because I thought they played well. Like, it wasn't just that Leicester let down. I think they were beat.
Yeah, Leicester looked tired, and I think Arsenal exploited that.
Yeah, so I can't put the blame on Leicester when they got beat.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think we all agree that it was an Arsenal victory, but
yeah,
I was just adding that. Like,
I guess that was.
I don't think it's a big a loss for Leicester because of the injuries.
Leicester only have 4 players out.
Yeah.
Well, currently,
but I'm saying like throughout the whole.
I think he was saying like as in terms of days missed.
Okay, so here's the thing. Every time you see that tweet of like,
games
I know exactly what tweet you're talking about because Liverpool bad, 5,000 likes. You have to understand that Soinchu and like Ricardo Pereira, these were injuries from last season, and these players came back in like October. So like that's why it's a disingenuous stat. That's why you shouldn't pick up stats from Twitter. See, because I just Googled that and I found out that there's 4 players injured, Madison included, right? So like yes, okay. James Justin, Timothy Castagne, Johnny Evans was suspended, Fofana, and now Madison.
Madison's a big one for them because he's actually been really good this year.
Yes.
He's been really coming to his own this year. That's a big injury for them. Item. How long is he out?
I don't know how long James Madison's out.
Say how long he's out.
Was it bad? I missed the injury.
I don't know.
I think it's a muscle injury, so I don't.
So it could be next
week.
Could be a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Soft tissue. Those are really tough. Like Jordan Henderson with a groin.
Jordan Henderson's out for 12 weeks. It's lit.
Yeah, didn't they just have? He just went to surgery like earlier this week.
Yeah. Oh my God! So it's even worse. It's not even just like he pulled his groin. Oh my gosh. Okay.
But okay, I'm glad you guys think that was a bigger win for Arsenal.
Yes,
we're gonna talk about relegation now. I think that
Newcastle for life.
I think West Brom and Sheffield are dead. Do either of you guys disagree? Any of you guys want to disagree that either of those teams have life?
We all agree that those 2 teams are going down.
Okay.
Chris Wilder still only has 3 subs.
True. And 11 points after 26 games. Fulham, 23 points. Newcastle, Brighton, and Hove, 26 points.
Yo, there is absolutely no fucking reason Newcastle should be that fucking low.
Yeah!
Let's
go. They're trash cans. They're going down, baby.
There's absolutely... Yo, if Newcastle go down, I'm sending Sean several bouquets of edible arrangements. Newcastle end up going down. I am sending him champagne bottles.
We're sending him Newcastle beer. We already decided that.
All right, Newcastle beer.
We're all going to Newcastle.
I'm about to send him a brewery.
I said this. So one of my first critiques of this podcast is we better have somebody who can talk technically about football, which we do. That would be my man to my. It's my left.
Right.
I think it's the right.
Yeah.
But so we do have that. But I said I don't know how to explain what I'm looking at in a technical term. But I know what I'm looking at. And when I watched Newcastle about 5 to 7 weeks ago, I was like, this is poo-poo football. I don't know how to technically term that, but whatever they're doing, spatially, they're not working together. It's not good. It's bad.
Football. I had on Thursday when we get clapped by Chelsea and we come back to the pod on Tuesday.
Tweet it out.
Football.
Take the tweet. I don't care. It's poo-poo football. I don't know how to describe it on paper. It's just bad. And I saw it. And I knew. I was like, these guys are done. These guys are roasted. They're not going to win enough games. And Fulham beat us and then challenged somebody the week after. And I was like, Fulham's not getting relegated.
I mean,
there's no way.
What is? No, go ahead.
So coming up this weekend, though, because I think some context is important here. Because you say Fulham's not going down. Fulham play tomorrow against Spurs.
They're supposed to lose that.
Okay. West Brom, Newcastle play West Brom at the weekend.
6-pointer.
Like, Newcastle should win that because West Brom are freaking dreadful. But I mean, I guess my man Ainsley Maitland-Niles might have a masterclass and beat my boy Joe Willock. But
quit highlighting shit, Brad.
So yeah, true. So West Brom play Newcastle. So assuming Newcastle beat West Brom. I don't know who Brighton play this weekend because I didn't highlight it. It's probably a bum team. Probably someone they'll lose to. But Burnley, that's not. Okay, so I don't know. I think Fulham play Liverpool at the weekend. So Fulham have two incredibly difficult games in a row. I think they take 0 points out of both those games coming up. So while we want to, I think, rag on Newcastle, rag on Brighton perhaps, I don't. If after the weekend, if there's 9 points in between Fulham and Newcastle, or Fulham and Brighton, like, this conversation is completely different, right? So
what is the podcast's thoughts on Graham Potter?
I'm not a fan.
He confuses the shit out of me.
He's a Fugazi
Brad desperately. He's a very Fugazi manager. Brad desperately Googling who Graham Potter is.
You're not wrong.
I
thought I was correct, but I just want to make sure before I brought up things.
You have no defense for not knowing who Graham Potter is because he.
I literally asked this question in the group
like
chat.
5 days.
Yeah,
ago.
I remember it.
I think that if we look at him as like on the balance of like the last 2 seasons, like what is there to like hold up there? Like what
right. He hasn't necessarily improved Brighton in any capacity that's like meaningful.
No.
But he plays decent football. But like we're staying up with Chris Hughton. But like the it's like weird because he plays really like, or he wants to play like good football or whatever, right? But then he gets clapped on a weekly basis, right? Like Brighton lose on a weekly basis, but his team like create lots of chances and like, oh, if they had better players, they'd score. Like if Burnley had better players, they'd be in Europe.
If Arsenal had better players, we'd be champions.
Yeah, like
as my grandpa used to say, if a frog had a glass ass, it only jumped once.
Yeah, right. Like it's just.
Yo, shout out Sean's grandpa. Real talk.
He's not.
I just don't know what Graham Potter does. I just don't know.
My grandpa or Graham Potter?
Graham Potter.
Okay.
I know what your grandpa does. Evidently make analogies involving frogs and glasses.
Well, I got another one, but it's not pod friendly, so say another one.
All right. So, but realistic question: do you think Fulham come out of this weekend with like on Monday or next Tuesday when we're talking? Do we think that Fulham have more than 23 points?
Would be funny as shit if Fulham win tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say. Well, see, I said. When you brought up that game, I said, well, that should be a loss, right? Should be.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of football, right? And especially in the Premier League, it's like week in, week out, anyone can lose. I don't want to necessarily say that anyone can beat anyone else, but any team can lose on any given day.
They're between me and him, they're coming out of this weekend with a point.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to be me.
They're coming out of this weekend with a point.
We're putting a point in Fulham's pocket.
I will be shocked if Fulham have more than 23 points next Tuesday when we talk. A week from today. I'll be shocked.
I won't be.
Man,
And
I don't know if I want to put myself through watching Newcastle West Brom.
You might need to. It might be.
Oh, God.
It might be a good game in the two drunk people fighting sense.
Have those ever been good?
No.
Have those ever been good? No,
it's
that's
better when
terrible.
you're
Not
over
at
there.
7 a.m. I'm not waking up for that.
Oh, is it the 7 a.m. game? No,
It's
I'm
the
not
7
waking up
a.m.
for that.
game. That's
No, I'm
not
good.
happening.
I'm going to check the stats.
We'll recommend to our viewers that you sleep in.
Yes,
I volunteer.
I will recommend to the viewers to sleep in.
I
Yes,
volunteer as tribute because I'll watch the first half before I leave for church. Because I have
Actually, you
I have
know
a
what?
6-month-old.
I'm gonna challenge my viewers to fucking watch that, and then you email me at redcard_radio@gmail.com. Tell me what you think about this game.
It's
info.
info.redcardradio@gmail.com.
You explained to me how you wasted 2 hours of your life.
No, I am genuinely curious to know why you watched this game.
I have a friend that's a Newcastle fan. I'm gonna ask him if he's gonna wake up
My
early for that.
condolences.
Shout out.
What
shout
pisses
out
me
Phil.
off is they'll play. This is just a. I probably
Shout out
shouldn't say
Joel.
in case we get sponsored by NBC or whatever, but
Never.
NBC will play that freaking game at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they'll put some actually good game behind a paywall later.
Well, to be fair, NBC
Jesus.
doesn't select the schedule. That's
Schedule.
Sky. That's Sky and.
Oh well, then
BT.
Sky can suck my toe.
Oh, don't worry. All of England agrees with you about that too.
So we're kind of already there, but we're kind of looking already forward to the week to the.
Sorry,
midweek-
Sky, if you
midweek
potentially
and
want to
the
sponsor us later.
weekend games. But so we were kind of talking about Fulham and Spurs. Sean is not very optimistic. I think Spurs are going to win that game.
No.
The big game.
Spurs Palace?
No, we're not there yet. We're not
Oh.
there. We're going to talk about Liverpool Chelsea
Oh,
first.
Fulham? No,
Let's talk about
it's a
Liverpool
draw.
Chelsea because
Oh, that's also a draw, probably.
I think so. Tammy doesn't think so.
It's also a waste of 2 hours.
2-0 loss. Because none of these two teams will actively go for it. So even if it's a draw, it'll be like
that's not wrong.
a really entertaining draw. They just
This
don't
will
play.
be two drunk people fighting each other. It'll be
This
back and
will
forth.
be. This will be a misfiring gun versus a leaky bucket.
so this game has some interesting context, I think, between the managers, just because of like the history of these two guys. In that Tuchel's been following behind Klopp everywhere, and they're obviously like, for better or worse, linked because they're both German. Do we think that plays a role?
Tuchel and Klopp have played some bangers before.
They're pretty friendly. aren't
Tuchel and Klopp, yeah. Tuchel and Klopp played. I don't know if you remember that 5-4 thriller, Dortmund versus Liverpool, in the Europa League 2015-16.
they? No, I don't.
That was
No.
an absolute banger of a game. Yeah, like it was like legit like 5-4. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. Lovren scored a winner. It was great.
Oh, man.
No wonder why you remember it.
And then they played another thriller with PSG, which was like 3-2, and Firmino scored the winner in 18-19 because we were in the same group with them. But yeah, like we that's why I'm like, we're either gonna get clapped or this is gonna be a banger. There's no. Neither of these managers believe in like taking a draw.
Yeah, so like I think that this has interesting like story undertones, like the Mo Salah, like Chelsea reject undertone. Like Mo Salah always shows up against Chelsea, and especially after
Salah shows up against everybody.
Yeah, but
Let's be honest.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, hold on. No, I want to talk about this. I want to bring this up. Mo Salah, about 8 to 9 months ago, cut his hair. He had a beautiful fro. shaped
Yeah, he
it.
cut his hair in the summer.
I feel like Firmino influenced this. Like he had like the shape situation going on, not quite as long as what you got going on. He was crap until it grew back out, and now he's got the throwback going on, and now he's back to himself. So I just want to point out, now he's got his hair back going on.
He's been top scorer of the league, like pretty much solid throughout this season.
I think so.
Then started the season with a hat trick after he cut his hair.
No, he went on a dry spell when he cut his hair. I noticed it.
Dude, he scored a hat trick on the first game of the season.
Dude, Liverpool as a whole went on a dry spell. So like, I don't know if we can say that it was just
we've been dying since
5-6 games.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
You know what happened? Mo Salah put up a Christmas tree, and Allah is not.
Oh no! Oh no, we didn't.
All our misery started when he put that fucking day up on Christmas Day.
Did he put it up on like Instagram or something?
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's it.
You've had the curse of Allah since.
I know, right? It's been the worst.
Well, hopefully he has repented.
Okay. This weekend, a couple interesting games. Of course, you got the Manchester Derby. Brad, come on, man.
Fix it.
Stop touching things. Thank you. I completely lost my train of thought.
My hands are in a natural position now. Okay.
Yeah, where's my cards? Someone sent me this pack. I was gonna give you a red card. So this weekend, Manchester Derby. That will be a boring game. Chelsea.
That will be a boring game.
Chelsea Everton.
It was last time too.
Chelsea Everton could be interesting. West Ham Leeds. That will be fun. Trap games this weekend though. Burnley are hosting Arsenal. Liverpool are hosting Fulham, and the Spurs are hosting Palace. I want to start with Spurs and Palace only because I know that Sean has feelings about this game, about this fixture.
I have a feeling about it.
Yes, you do. If I was better prepared, I would have had the tapes from the last time you all played and spliced them on the screen now. But that would, anyway,
require work.
I think Palace are getting.
We've lost the Palace like, I don't know, 14 out of the last 15 times. What do you mean? I don't got a feeling about it. I just know what's going to happen.
Nah, I think Palace are getting clapped.
No way.
Palace are getting battered. No, I think Palace are getting battered like 3-4-0.
Away, doesn't matter.
Neutral,
we can play at a neutral, some Wembley, Croatia, wherever.
Palace are already mathematically
playing in Russia,
they don't care.
somewhere that was also Poland. Like if we played there, Palace would beat us. Doesn't matter.
He said Poland.
I generally agree with Tamzid's thinking that it doesn't matter. Like Palace is the team that's like, hey, get to 40 points and call it a season.
Yeah, like Palace always get to 40 points by like March, and then they call it a season. Like every year, they're like really close to breaking top 6, and then they finish 13.
I know they're not there now. Like, what are they at? They're like
13.
33. They're like
13.
Like 33. Yeah,
within striking distance. They're close. Yeah.
Yeah, and like at a season like this, they're probably going to accept like 36 as like
they're
a good. Like, we'll probably be safe on that.
We only got 7 more points to go, and here comes Spurs.
It's time to rack up 3, is what you're thinking?
Yeah, easy 3 on the board.
There's no. I don't see that happening.
I see a Zaha masterclass coming in.
Isn't he injured?
Yes, he is.
If he's injured, then we might draw.
So, other than that, like, the only Chelsea Everton, is that going to be a good game, Brad?
That'd be a boring game.
It depends on how we play. Depends on what team you play, but
that is gonna be no, dude. Everton are not gonna come out to play. Everton are gonna do to you what United did to you.
I don't know. Everton needs
only
to come
difference
out to
is
play. Everton have to.
Everton just won't. They just won't. They just won't. They know that like
back, right?
Chelsea will get like impatient and they'll overcommit, and then they could hit them on the break with like a Calvert-Lewin header or something. They're not gonna commit to the same level. Like,
where's the game played? Is it in Liverpool?
That's
no, it's in London.
It's at the bridge.
That's irrelevant because
it's at the bridge.
It's empty stadiums.
I get that there's no fans, but I still traveling and hotels and I think there's still at least a little bit there.
Well, I'm pretty sure all the players still stay in hotels the night before a game.
Yes, but there's a difference between your home hotel and your traveling Liverpool hotel. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
Were you trying to say London's a better city?
Yes.
I'm just trying to say London is red.
London is most definitely not red. London doesn't.
I mean, Liverpool have beaten every team in London so far, so.
Bayern Munich were
We've
red.
already covered that London is
Bayern Munich were red. Yeah,
it's
Bayern Munich
red.
was red.
Yes, Bayern red.
But I forget my book. Here's my train of thought. Let's say Liverpool beat Chelsea regardless of result this weekend. This midweek between Liverpool and Chelsea, Everton have a game in hand on both these clubs, on Everton and on Liverpool and Chelsea. Liverpool and Chelsea sit directly above Everton. If they beat Chelsea, like that's and they have a game in hand, that is primed. Like they would prime themselves very well to hold on to a Europa League spot. Potentially even steal a
Ancelotti has
Champions
built
League
a
spot.
very Italian team, and so he's gonna play a very Italian game.
Of course.
So they're gonna be like very compact, very hard to beat. This is gonna be a very boring game. Like Ancelotti will go out of his way to make it a boring game, and he's gonna try to sucker punch Chelsea on the counter.
Okay. Let's find out.
We'll find out if Zuma's got it.
On that, any of these other games you guys want to talk about?
Can Ancelotti teach Mourinho how to play an Italian game? Because I thought he was gonna.
I'm sorry. What did you call him?
Was that? What did you call him?
Ancelotti.
Y'all should never eat Italian food again. Like collectively, all y'all should just never. It's Ancelotti.
He doesn't have enough C's in his name for that.
Just
If he starts putting some more C's in there, I'll call him what he wants to be called.
Carlo Ancelotti, please add more C's to your name.
Right.
Or Red Card Radio, please.
Signed Red Card Radio. Please put more C's in your name.
All right. I think we're
It's
done.
amazing.
Are we done? Is that
I have no idea.
Is
I
that
think
how
we've
we-
offended enough. I think we've offended enough people. I've
right?
sent out about 3 apologies tonight.
Writing about 3 apologies tonight.
Send all of your hate mail to info.redcardradio@gmail.com, please. Brad, hit us with.
We'll read out hate mail. That's what we should do.
Oh yeah, Snapple, come on.
Yeah, give us your
The Snapple
Give us
fact.
your Snapple fact, Brad.
So last
They
time,
better not offend anybody. I don't want 4.
last time Tottenham won a trophy, Google Chrome didn't exist. The web browser I used did not exist.
I think the web browser that like 90% of the world use.
Correct. Did not exist the last time Tottenham won a trophy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And I'm also sorry to Sky and Carlo Ancelotti.
Sounded like you said Carla there.
Well, he might as well be.
All right, guys,
You might as well be.
that was Red Card Radio for Matchday 26. Follow us at redcard_radio on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube, of course. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Send us your feedback to my left at KSBradG. That's Brad. Hit him up. Right below me is at whiteheart_Sean. And diagonally from me is at Firmino's Dentist. You can tweet him pain gifs and upsetting things. He really appreciates all those things. But I'm at James Tiffany. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll see you next week. We'll talk about match days 27 and 28. But until then, y'all.
And hopefully pronounce names correctly.
That doesn't happen.
Never.
It doesn't
Never.
happen on Red Card Radio.
This is Red Card Radio.